Hello everyone. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, made some really good trades, and yup, let's just get into it. And as per usual, we are going to do our crypto analysis, then we will cover stocks and equities, and we will finish it off with commodities as per usual. Now let's get moving here. We can see that Bitcoin had a very nice little update today, a nice little uptick as Bitcoin pops up to around 16,971, very close to 17,000. No, we didn't hit 18,000, not yet, but very nice movement right here. As you guys can see, we are in profits on our positions inside the Discord. So if you guys want to become gold members and get access to my trades, the link is inside the description. Come and join us inside the Discord, get those awesome trades and make those great returns. Again, lifetime membership right now is 50% off. So if you guys want to join, feel free to join. Usually it's 500 and the regular is 250 USDT. So if you guys want to join, limited time offer for the next 2 weeks as the clock is ticking. And if you guys want to lock in that low rate for $40 a month, feel free to do so because the rates are going to go up as well. Now let's keep going. Let's take a look at market cipher on the daily time frame. We can see that we are still in that run money flow, but this green dot played out very nicely. We are getting some upside. Looks like we are starting to slow down though. On the devious side, we have a -2 and a 10 right here. We had a 16 on today's candle, but a new candle right now looking a little bit weaker than it should. But for the time being, I still think that Bitcoin could potentially play out like this. We could maybe potentially get a pump back up to around 17,300. Obviously, the longer we take, the more this trend line is going to get lower. So if we take up to middle of January or January 23, around the middle of January, we are going to be right around 18,100, and as we progress towards the end of January, it's going to be around 17,300. So we really need to get this done quicker than sooner to obviously get the best price action. But again, don't forget that we still have a significant amount of resistance to get over. You could take it from these pivot lows right here and bring it right there. You got support, and then we flipped it as resistance and as resistance once again. And it looks like if we get another pump towards the upside, we could potentially flip this as resistance once again. So let's keep this in account and keep an eye on that trend line. Okay, guys, let's move in. Again, Infinity is already looking at this level as a take profit zone for our long positions. If we do get a nice pump, it's not a bad idea to start taking profits right around 17,400. You guys can see we've been getting some significant rejections from these points, and obviously I think this was the CPI day. We had a massive pump and then a quick reversal back towards the downside. So again, those are just news days, very volatile. Things can pump up and break down past support and resistances. So always take that into account when you're watching the markets. You got to look at the market moving events. And talking about market moving events, let's take a look at very quickly. We'll take a look at what's coming up for the rest of the week on the calendar. You can see that today we had the job JOLTS openings, again coming in stronger than expected, and we can see that the markets faded the rally today and kind of chopped sideways into the close. And then we had the FOMC minutes release stating that no participants on the FOMC board thinks that it is wise or even necessary to lower rates in 2023, but the market is definitely starting to price something in completely different to what the FOMC is saying. They are expecting a complete on full pivot near the middle of 2023. They're expecting right around June, July that the Fed is going to flip the rates, flip the switch, and we're going to be doing rate cuts like you've never seen them before, just like how we haven't seen rate hikes at these levels before, at the pace that they've been going. Let's keep moving. Let's take a look at Thursday. We have the ADP non-farm employment change, and then on Friday we're going to have the unemployment rate. So this is for Canada. For US, we're going to have the average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and the unemployment rate. But we're also going to have it for Canada, but this is going to be a significant less of an impact than the US market, obviously. And then we have the ISM services PMI, and then a couple of FOMC members are going to be speaking. But let's move on here. Let's take a look at the equities very quickly. Actually, before we get into equities, let me just top it off by saying we got some nice pumps in some altcoins, and we just took some profits on our algo trade, and or I believe it was an ADA trade, again up over or no, it was Atom and Algo. We're up over 14 or 10% on those trades, doing very, very well. Let's take a look at Ethereum Classic. This is Ethereum. Why is my Ethereum Classic chart on Ethereum? Let's zoom over to Ethereum right here. Sorry, Ethereum Classic, and there we go. We can see that Ethereum had a Ethereum Classic had a massive pump today of over 26 or 25%. Absolutely insane. Again, obviously I am still mining some Ethereum Classic here and there, so it's quite nice to see when your altcoin that you're mining or you're doing some passive income on gets a nice pop towards the upside. Obviously we are way down from the highs. The highs were around $180 for Ethereum Classic, and you know, I think we're probably gonna hit the lows right around $5 before we hit the highs right around 180. All right, let's move on here. Let's take a look at the equities. Actually, let me just save this before I forget. All right, let's take a look at the equities quickly. We can see that the Dow Jones, again, had a bit of a sideways day. In my opinion, we are really starting to form a bear flag right now. The Dow Jones, in the S&P 500, and all the other indices as well. Obviously, very significantly more defined in the S&P 500 and in the Dow Jones. You guys can probably tell. So you have your leg down, and then you get your flag right here. Just do a quick flag right there. And again, this could take another couple weeks to play out, but it could, you know, definitely do not discount this pattern. You could get another leg down towards the downside, maybe right around these lows right here for the Dow Jones before we get a bounce back up towards the upside. I know a lot of people are saying we broke the 200-day moving average on the Dow Jones, but it's significantly less important than breaking the 200-day on the S&P 500. After all, the S&P 500 is composed of 500 companies, and the Dow Jones is composed of 30 value stocks, which, by the way, the hedge funds have been piling on all over themselves like you wouldn't believe it. They're just trying to get into value now. Value is the game. Dump tech, dump growth. It's all about value. Suddenly the game has changed, right? Very, very funny to see that. And gold getting a very nice day, but we'll get into that in just a few moments. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Again, respecting this channel right here. We've tried to get above it a couple of times during these news events. Markets really were on CNBC, were really pushing, you know, just pushing like you'd never seen it before. How the Russell and the S&P 500 was going to end the year right around 4,400, and if anything, this guy Tom Lee, I think, someone that goes on CNBC, was touting 4,800 by the end of the year. Absolute insanity. And he was saying this, I think, around the middle of December. He was expecting a massive pump towards the upside for absolutely no reason. It is completely hilarious hearing these talking heads on the news just say absolutely insane things. Again, let's just do a measured move from where these guys think that we were going to pump. So he was expecting an 18% pump in a bear market with the record high rates and, you know, being down so much on the year. 20% pump in the S&P in 18 days. Very, very funny. All right, let's move on here. We can take a look at Infinity's chart right here, which he's shared very kindly with me and the Discord. And again, you guys do not only get my analysis, but you get all the other moderators and trading teams analysis inside the Discord for free. This one you don't have to pay, obviously. Yet again, we can see that we have a very prominent downwards trend line right here for the Russell 2000. So I still think that even if we break this channel, we have a pretty strong chance of getting rejected once again. So I'm just going to draw it out for you guys right here. And you guys can see that we've been getting rejected very nicely from this level. So even if we get past the 200-day again on the Russell, and we go up to around 1870, 1865, I would be very interested into shorting right around this level right here, and it will probably get a strong rejection, and we're going to eventually take out these lows right here, and we are going to head to lower levels. After all, the Russell 2000 is composed of mostly garbage companies. The PE, I believe, of the average P of the Russell, I think, is still like 70 or above 70. It's absolutely insane. Let's move on here. Let's take a look at commodities. Gold, again, just absolutely on a tear right now, still breaking out towards the upside, tagging 1864 today. getting a new little bit of a high right here, but I would be very cautious into, FOMOing and getting into longs for gold. I am a very big gold advocate, but I would still tell people that, there is a very strong level of rejection right here for gold. Gold is overdone. I have to say it. Gold is overdone. If we could get right around this level right here, I would be very inclined into getting into a short position on gold. If we could get around 1870, I would definitely get into a small short position on gold. And then if we get a retrace on here, you're going to get some support coming in right around 1805. And if that level doesn't hold, you have a minor level right around 1785, but your major levels are going to be right here, right around 1725. Again, you always want to take a look at the dollar, see what the dollar is doing. Obviously, the dollar's been chopping sideways right now, but people are starting to realize that the Fed might not be able to do what they want to do with the current market conditions and stuff like that, and people are starting to exit the dollar and probably get into gold and safe haven assets like that. All right, moving on, let's take a look at silver. Silver getting very, very close to this trend line right here. And again, if I were to adjust this just a little bit more or so, you could probably say that you tagged it on some other charts, but right now silver is starting to struggle right here. You're starting to form a very nice bearish divergence. We could get maybe one last wick towards the upside right around 2465 or 2473, and then we could get a nice pullback potentially back to $22.24. Again, you'd be very surprised, but silver is a very volatile asset as well. 10% dumps and 7% pumps are not uncommon for silver. You guys can take a look right here. This ginormous candle that we had got the other day on silver, a massive 8% pump in one single day, right? You can get very big dumps as well. You guys can see silver dumped from like right around these levels, right around $26 all the way down to as low as $18.26. So don't be surprised that there is also volatility in the commodity market. Same thing for natural gas. Natural gas probably the most volatile out of all of them, and is also very prone to gapping down sometimes and gapping up as well. But right now, my next level for natural gas, if I were to even consider getting into a long position on that gas, would be right around $3.50 or $3.55. I would be very, very interested. You guys can take a look. We've tested this level as resistance many times, and we just retested this level of support back in 2021 of December. And now if we come back down to this level after being so oversold, I mean, we're getting very, very oversold right now. I think on the weekly time frame, we're getting pretty oversold. Okay, we're not that oversold on the weekly. We could technically still go significantly lower, but right now you could actually say that you could be forming. Oh, I don't have that there. You could actually say that you could be forming a nice bullish divergence right now on nat gas. After all, nat gas bottomed here, we bounced up. Now we're making one hell of a low, and the RSI has still not gone lower than the low that we made back in October of 2022. So very interesting stuff to see there. Keep your eyes on it, guys. Again, I was telling people about the massive bearish divergence that we had, I think, on the weekly time frame for nat gas. And again, these massive divergences can take a very long time to play out, but eventually they play out, right? Let's take a look right here. From these highs to this high and to this high, you made a lower high and a lower high and a lower high on the RSI, and finally you capitulated and you go down from $10 all the way to $4. A massive, I think, 60% drop here. I think this was a 60% drop. So again, pay attention to these call outs that I put in the Discord as well, guys. I put these out months in advance, sometimes weeks in advance, and you guys get to get in on the ground floor to get on these trades. All right, I think that's about it for today. Nothing too much. I think the Chinese stocks were having a massive rally today. You guys can take a look at IQ, getting back to that 1.618 right here. Very nice. Could be very interesting to get into a nice short position right here, but don't be surprised if IQ pumps a significant amount more and we go to $7.30. I would not be surprised at all. You guys can take a look at this pivot low. Could be a next price target for IQ. And Tesla, again, getting a nice little update today, up 5%. NEO up 10%. Lucid up 10%. Again, very benefiting for a nice little market rally today. But again, there was some chop all over the place. Actually, I forgot to take a look at oil. Let's finish it off with oil. As oil gets rejected, or we're getting very close to getting rejected on this major trend line. Looks like we didn't make contact, but overall, I still think that oil is headed towards $65 a barrel. And again, you guys can take a look at these oil companies trading at their all-time highs right now, are very near their all-time highs, and oil is trading still very near $65. And you can see that these hedge funds and all these smaller hedge funds are now starting to pile into value, buying Hexon, Chevron, and all these oil companies, getting into value stocks because energy is where you want to be, because that's what CNBC says. CNBC says you got to get into energy. You just got to, right? I wonder why the average lifespan of a hedge fund on Wall Street is like 2 to 3 years. I wonder. It's maybe they're following Jim Cramer's advice or something. But I gotta tell you, just look at the daily time frame. It looks like you're down, you moved down, a leg down, and now you're consolidating like a bear flag, and you're getting ready for your next leg down. And again, you guys can take a look at the 200-day moving average, sitting in right around $96. Perfect short position if you were getting in right around 114. You could make a nice little 50% trade there. Anyways, that's it for me today. If you guys want to join the Discord, become gold members. Lifetime subscription is available for 50% off. Come join and ask us inside the Discord. If you guys want to lock in that low rate for the monthly rate, it's still $40 a month before the prices go up in 2 weeks. Love you guys. Peace. And again, if you guys want to trade crypto, feel free to subscribe using my link in the description, biggettrading.com.